These are the best of the best. Championship 4 are responsible for over 50% of the season wins, 17 of the 32 races, and a lot of experience out of Allgaier as well as Cole Custer. They've been here 6 and 3 times respectively to fight for a championship. Let's actually talk with the driver that will start closest to the front as far as the Championship 4, John Hunter Nemechek. Let's see if we can dial him up on the radio, Steve.
Yeah, he'll be rolling off third today. Let's see if we can get him. Hey, John Hunter, it's the NBC booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Steve.
John, it's been an amazing year, man. 7 wins, and here it all is. It's a busy week, lots of talk, lots of media, but now you're strapped in the office. Tell the fans at home, the nerves, the confidence, what's going through your mind here as you embark on the next 200 laps.
Yeah, I think all 4 of us have a little bit of butterflies in our stomachs just through pre-race, just all the hype and everything during all week. But we're blessed to be in this position. We've had a very successful year as a 20 team, and man, I'm proud to be with Ben and every single one of these guys and girls at Joe Gibbs Racing. Just proud to be a part of this program and lucky to be behind the steering wheel. So 200 laps, it's going to crown one champion. Hopefully we can go get it done. But I have all the confidence in the world in my guys and my 20 team. Great Ty Barker, Toyota GR Super here, so hopefully we can stay on top of it, track changing, and hopefully we can get this thing as fast as Xfinity 10G.
Well, the track has a funny look, 2 different shaped ends. What's the key to Phoenix?
Get your car to work on both ends, and hopefully it's a rocket ship. Just have to stay on top of the racetrack. It's hard to get your Toyota GR Supra to work on both ends, but the one who can master that, the fastest race car, will definitely win the race.
Well, good luck. It's been a fun year to watch. Good luck today, and we really appreciate you taking the time for the fans here.
Yep, thank you guys. Thanks for everyone that's here and tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
Well, he's right behind the pace car now. He'll end up rolling off third. Let's check out today's starting grid brought to you by Xfinity. Dave Burns.
So, Steve, he qualified best of the Championship 4 contenders, did John Hunter Nemechek. And even though he's raced here 18 times and has not won, his team has. Remember what he just said? The key was to get your car working on both ends of this oddly shaped track. This team, the core of it, did that last year with Ty Gibbs. Took him to the championship right here at Phoenix. They're behind him, and he has a great shot today, Marty.
Dave, Justin Allgaier's in his 13th full-time season here in the Xfinity Series with no championship to show for it. So why will this year be different? Well, he told me earlier this week, maybe because my perspective is different this year. I've lost this championship a lot of ways, Allgaier said, but I know no matter the result tonight, I will have given 100%, and I'm okay with whatever happens. While Allgaier feels like he has nothing to prove, Cole Custer has everything to prove. In his words, his move back to the Xfinity Series was a demotion, but he told me it challenged me to think of new ways to improve myself as a driver. Custer has finished second in the championship twice. Could it finally be his night tonight, Kim?
Well, for Sam Mayer, he starts the lowest of those 4 playoff continue to see row 8, that 16th starting position, but the team did not really seem concerned about their starting spot. Sam completely at ease. When I talked to him earlier today, he said he typically fires off not great at this racetrack. He thinks the car is going to be way much better than they were in qualifying. He said they were a little free and tight yesterday in practice. He feels like they might made the right adjustments to move through the field here today, Rick.
So that's where the Championship 4 will start. Again, it's simple. Whichever one finishes in front of the other 3 will be crowned the champion. The honorary starter for today's championship race is Gary Wolf. There he is. And as an Xfinity customer and rewards member, Gary's enjoying the special perks and unique experiences just like this one. Field lining up 2 by 2 as they go across start-finish line, being told one more time around before the green flag flies. Let's listen in to a little radio communication between the team members here on the 20.
Well, thank you guys for an awesome year. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything that you guys do. Tony, keep me in the ball game. Keep me focused. Don't let me do anything stupid. I know it's easier said than done, but.
All right, guys, I just want to tell each and every one of you, proud of you. Really appreciate everything we've done. Proud of this team, where we've come from. We get to go run for a championship today, so let's go out here and have fun. Let's quit talking about it. Let's go do it now.
I want everybody to take a good long look at everything around you. Enjoy the moment. That's all I can tell you. Enjoy every ounce of this moment.
I'm sure those three ahead of you are nervous too. It's all good to be nervous right here. Soak it in though. We'll take some deep breaths here once we kind of get going and enjoy it. Worked hard to get to this point.
Take a deep breath. Steve, you mentioned it just moments ago when you're talking to John Hunter Nemechek. They're in their office now. This is what the whole season has come down to. 200 laps, 200 miles in the desert to determine the champion. Green flag is in the air. We're racing in Phoenix. There's that 3 and 4 wide. Junior and Jeff talked about. Sammy Smith out in front in the 18. Austin Hill in the 21, just behind him in second. Myatt Snyder in the green, number 19, fighting for that second spot. And as quickly as Myatt Snyder goes to the middle, here comes John Hunter Nemechek in the 20.
That flat in 1 and 2 is the shorter way around, but the transition on exit, very hard to get the power down. Now John Hunter's kind of in the preferred lane, that bottom lane. Slides up just a little bit. 21 of Austin Hill, the white and blue card was outside, gives him room, but Justin Allgaier's on the attack. He turns left.
This is when it gets interesting. They're 3 wide into the corner. Somebody's got to give here.
Oh, the 7 sideways.
Did he spin it?
Hang on to it. Hang on, hang on, hang on.
He goes around and the caution comes out. Something had to give, and it was the traction that Allgaier had.
You mentioned it, Jeff. You could go down there, and Dale was talking about on corner entry, you had to get it figured out, and the 7 tried to rejoin that 3 wide, and he wanted to run the bottom of the racetrack, with the 2 above him wanted him to run the apron all the way to the bottom. So here he is, the red car all the way to the left.
Yeah, all this is fair. Banging doors a little bit. The 7 on the bottom of the racetrack on the apron, that's not unusual, but you pinch your car off so much running down there, and then the contact with John Hunter Nemechek did not help anything.
And I actually think the 20, the 21, they're in the right. That yellow line at most racetracks, that's absolutely the racing groove, just above it. Here at Phoenix, in 1 and 2, it is very common to see cars below it. I expect John Hunter to enter right where he did. I don't know if Allgaier thought he could have more room or just got too free. Let's ride on board.
Well, this is the problem right here with Allgaier. He needs to be being told 3 wide, 3 wide. He never got as low as he needed to be. If you're going to run down there, that yellow line means nothing. You got to really turn left, get to the bottom. But when he tried to do it, he was loose. He couldn't turn the wheel because the back of the car wouldn't let him. It was going to spin out. So an early aggressive move has now got him in a deficit.
I'm a little shocked, right? The oldest, the most experienced 37-year-old Justin Allgaier. He's the oldest of these Championship 4. Heck, he's the oldest if you put the Cup 4 in as well. And he's the first one to make a mistake. Let's listen into their radio.
No big deal, buddy. No big deal. Just get caught up.
That's it for, I know. Sorry, boys.
So Jim Pullman, first year on top of the pit box. There's Jim right there. That's the voice you heard. Justin Allgaier and Jason Burdett worked together forever. They were able to get here so many times where we're never found that top step. Jim Pullman came in this season, and man, that caught fire. We saw successes at tracks that Allgaier normally doesn't run very well at, and you would wonder what this race would look like, and you heard that voice. I mean, that's calming. No, don't worry about it. No big deal. That's really good if you're the race car driver. Let's not amp this up or make this any more of a situation. Dave, how about the 20 of Nemechek?
Well, Steve, to your earlier point, John Hunter Nemechek came on the radio and said, where was he going? So he thought he had the last line in there, so was curious about that. He came close enough to the pit box on the track for Ben Bayshore, the crew chief, to see that it was only that donut that we showed the close-up of on the 20. No damage. Marty?
And Dave, to Steve's point a moment ago, this is why Jim Pullman came to crew chief Justin Allgaier this year. They have a long history together. They won a 2008 ARCA championship together. So that calming voice, it's a known voice to Justin Allgaier as well. The other thing that he said was kind of funny. He told the team, I'm just impressed no one else hit me there. So Pullman coming down here, Steve, really is a precautionary measure. Allgaier says, I think the tires are fine, but they're going to take them off just in case. They will re-glue these tires tires in case they do need to use them later in the race. Allgaier said the car fired off pretty well for him on that initial early run.
That was exactly my question, Marty. I can't wait for you to take a look at those 4 tires. I don't think he spun or slid long enough to flat spot them, basically, you know, carve a spot in the tire. You see a little bit of damage on the sidewall. That doesn't bother me. This matters because there's only 4 sets of tires in the pits. The Xfinity Series has a tire limit. So this is no big deal as long as you didn't damage these tires. If you damage them where they couldn't go back on the car, now you're set a Goodyear tires down to the rest of the field. So Marty will be down there, give us an update. They looked okay to me coming off the car.
Well, all right, Xfinity customers and Xfinity Reward members, you can enjoy special perks and unique experiences just for being a customer. It's free and easy to join with rewards starting from day 1, and they'll just keep on coming. Xfinity customers, scan that QR code. It's on the screen, and you can explore your rewards today.
You have to wonder with that early mistake if all the other championship contenders were paying attention, right? Like, yes, let's be aggressive. But remember, stage points don't matter. The only thing that matters is where you are on that 200 compared to those other 3 guys. That may have been a wake-up call for all the other guys, Marty.
Jeff just checked in with Jim Pullman real quick. So that set of tires they pulled off Justin Allgaier's car, good to go for later in the race. So, Steve, they will not be down a set compared to the field.
That's good. That's good update. Good to know. Thanks, Marty. Jeff, you're right. He still has a great chance, but he basically just walked up to the Masters, hit his first T-ball out of bounds. Right, he's still in the tournament, but this has got to be high stress to see the one of Mayer. I want to know what he thought when he saw his teammate sideways.
Yeah, and he's not down a set because they can glue them back up, but they are not as fast as stickers. They will not fire off as fast as stickers. If we get a lot of cautions, that could be a deficit.
Wyatt Snyder's going to line up on the outside of Sammy Smith as we get ready for the restart here at Phoenix. And they fan out again.
Whoa, crash in the back.
Into the wall on the restart. Caution comes back out. This time it's the 38, and so Kyle Sieg,
come on around.
Quite a bit of damage to the back of that car.
That's just what you want if you're racing for a championship. 2 quick cautions. Calms the nerves right on down.
Oh, man.
Means another restart, which you could be 4, 5, 6, 7 wide. That's what happened. Maybe that transition, getting down there on the apron. Got that car out of balance. Kyle Sieg goes around. NBC Sports coverage of the Xfinity Series Championship on USA is brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Switch to one of the fastest growing mobile services. Visit XfinityMobile.com today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Progressive Keys to Progress program, providing cars to veterans in need. Let's take another look at why Kyle Sieg goes around here.
Yeah, some contact. That's showing Austin Hill, but Austin Hill's in the front of the pack. That's another car. Can't quite make out who it is.
Yeah, it looks like maybe some contact there.
Oh yeah, I think
back to Kyle Sieg.
Contact, sure. We don't have a great shot of it, but it's hard to believe it wasn't.
So a lot of damage to the back end of the 38. Marty, what's the communication back and forth with Allgaier and his team?
An encouraging word from spotter Eddie DeHaan, who also spots on Sundays for Chase Elliott. Listen in.
Methodically, we'll go through the field. 3 years ago, he won a championship, started dead last. He can do it. Let's go.
I had a good car, man. I wanted to take the most of it. Not ideal, but car's awesome. So step one is big success.
So that's an encouraging word. That championship he mentioned was with Chase Elliott and Eddie DeHaan. And see, they had an interesting debate on the radio. Allgaier said, let's put those older tires back on that we just took off. And Jim Pullman said they're not ready yet. They're not glued up. So that could have been an interesting move. Could have been a big break for them, but they're just not ready to pit quite yet.
Yeah, and even if it's not the lug nuts, they probably just want them to cool so they can get the tire pressures regulated correctly. It can be a very sensitive situation. Another thing I've noticed, Jeff, is something we talk about a lot here, that really dark shield on Justin Allgaier even has a piece of tape across. That's because heading down into turn 3, you know this as well as anyone, how difficult that sun can be. So, we're heading, this is the front stretch here, but when they get around 1 and 2 and start heading back into turn 3, that sun can be challenging. It's not a big deal for the leaders, but now that Allgaier's in traffic, he's going to be passing cars left and right.
Well, what happens is, now it's gotten shaded into turn 3, but coming off of turn 4 is where you really start to get in your eyes. And windshields are clean now. They haven't gotten sandblasted from the racetrack. This is going to get worse. You can see with the Hunt Brothers Pizza Cam how the tape is pulled down the windshield in front of Cole Custer. That is to provide shade to the sun, but that is what you're looking at.
Oh, that should be easy in traffic. No big deal.
Yeah, you can't even see the car in front of you. That's a great excuse, though, Steve. I've used it before.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to hit you. It was the sun. Sun in my eyes.
So this time it is Sammy Smith on the inside and Austin Hill is on the outside of row 1 as we get ready for the restart. And again, the field scatters. Some on the apron, some staying on the racing surface. And Austin Hill with the momentum through 1 and 2. He takes the lead away. And a couple of cars get into the wall.
Oh, big contact. Daniel Hemrick right in front of Cole Custer. Big smoke off the left front of Hemrick. Sam Mayer now trying to take advantage of it.
Mayer's going to stay right behind that 10. I'm sure treading cautiously.
Look, the move Sam Mayer did not make right there, I'm impressed with. He did not try to make something happen. He used some caution, used the experience he's gained this year and not making those mistakes. He could have gone 3 wide right there and it would not have worked out.
And also you see on the bottom left, restart violation. The number 2 of Sheldon Creed was running 7th. NASCAR's going to call him out. I would bet money he either didn't wait to the start-finish line to turn left or even change lanes in general. There it is, the flat tire. Finally, we saw the smoke. The 10 of Hemrick, the left front finally gives up. He'll make his way to pit road if he can get it to turn.
He does. He's on his way to pit road, and we stay green.
Yeah, what a disadvantage. And Daniel Hemrick, just going cup racing next year, but this is not the way he wanted this race to happen.
Fight for the lead. To the inside of that 21 is the 18 of Sammy Smith. John Hunter Nemechek back here with the best seat watching as these two fight for that spot. Austin Hill able to hold on to it. A little bit of momentum now for the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek. And Creed is serving his penalty as he comes onto pit road.
So, Jeff, we talked about it. You guys talked about going below the yellow line, but the other rule is you have to stay in line. You have to stay behind the car in front of you. Watch the 2 of Sheldon Creed turns left. It's definitely to the left of the 98. So regardless of the start-finish line, you cannot change lanes. You cannot turn left, not following the car in front of you until the start-finish line. I think that was pretty clear to me, Jeff. You agree?
That's correct. And the car in front of you establishes where that lane is. So if the guy on the bottom is up the racetrack a little bit, you have to be up the racetrack a little bit. You cannot drive underneath them, even if it's before the start-finish line. He actually did it twice. He got by with it on the initial start. They didn't get him. They got him that time.
Riley Herbst in the 98, putting a little pressure on his teammate, Cole Custer, in the 00.
It's funny, but you know, when I think about this race and what's on the line, some of the most nervous drivers might actually not be the Championship 4. They might be the Championship 4's teammates. I mean, think of Riley Herbst. Great year, didn't make the playoffs, got that monster win at Vegas, but here he is, got his mittens on. Man, oh, Cole, could you please pass this guy? Because I think I'm better than you, but I don't want to attack you. And out my rear, I have the one of Sam Mayer, and if he gets here, he's going to attack me. 98 playing really nice as a teammate here.
And you can't blame Riley Herbst for trying to run well, right? I mean, he's out here trying to win a race as well. Justin trying to make his way back up through the pack, trying to get by Rajah Caruth, driving a Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet today.
Jeff, stage points do not matter to the Championship 4 today, but they did when the teams were here back in March. And Justin Allgaier and Jim Pullman in both stages in the March race decided to get those stage points. And after both stages, they had to work their way through the field just like this. Allgaier trying to get around that 17 car. So a couple questions, Jeff. Number one, how tough is Phoenix in terms of trying to get through traffic, and how patient do you have to be knowing, hey, I'm racing for a title and I'm just racing 3 other drivers, not the entire field?
Marty, with a good handling race car, this is a racetrack that you can certainly pass on. It's a wide racetrack. You have opportunity on restarts. You can use your car to take the air off the car in front of you, put them in a bad situation. The problem's going to be he can work himself up through this pack with this many laps left, but if you make a mistake too late, then it takes too long to recover. Enough time for Justin to recover tonight.
I'll put a little cherry on top of everything Jeff just said. Qualified so well last week. He got to pick first of the Championship 4. He's in pit box 1. So to your point, Jeff, right? Don't make the mistake late, but if he can get him up into about the top 15, get a few more on the pit road, now it's a team effort of recovery.
And if he does drive through the field and he passes some of the guys he's racing for the championship, it's a good thing. It's like, yeah, man, we're going to win this thing, and it demoralizes the people that you're competing against as long as you can get yourself back up to the front.
The Brandt onboard camera is giving us a look of where Justin Allgaier is running and how he is doing, picking his way through that traffic. He's already up to 13th as there's a fight for second now. Sammy Smith in the 18 under fire from the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek, and Nemechek slides up the track a bit.
Not quite the same situation as the Riley Herbst Cole Custer teammate. Sammy Smith not returning to Joe Gibbs Racing. He'll be at Junior Motorsports next year. He was pretty frustrated with John Hunter a week ago and some of his choices on the final restarts, but Sammy was trying to win his way into this Championship 4. He lets him go down here, but he did run him side by side for a set of corners.
Yeah, really all year long, the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers have been at odds. But Sammy being very respectful right there, going to race him hard, but not doing anything to harm John Hunter.
Well, he wants to be in this spot next year, right? So you want to, your racing credibility is judged by everyone. You know, we saw chaos on the truck race. I think what those younger drivers are going to learn is, the Xfinity and the Cup guys, they watch that truck race. So when those drivers move up to other series, they're going to be raced with the expectation that they're going to perform like they did earlier in their careers.
20 to go in stage 1, and it's Austin Hill who is out front, and John Hunter Nemechek leading the way of the Champ 4. less than 0.2 of a second separating Austin Hill and John Hunter Nemechek for the lead here at Phoenix. And now looking to the inside, that 20, will he try to make the pass here with under 15 laps to go in stage 1?
Really impressed with that 20 car, how he rolled the middle of 1 and 2 and was able to have rear grip leaving kind of equal in 3 and 4, but let's see if he can pull that off again, or does Austin Hill have a match for him? Take the air away from him, run on the bottom.
All right, I have a question. 14 to go, Jeff. If you're John Hunter, why are you racing Hill?
I want track position. I want to come down pit road with the lead. I want to give some cushion for my pit crew. If we have a little bit slower pit stop, I want to be assured I'm going to leave pit road leading this race. I don't want to, that 21 car is fast on pit road. I need to come on pit road before him.
And we're seeing the 21 pretty much hold his position through 3 and 4, running that higher line. Does that bode well for the rest of the competition, knowing that might be another option for them through 3 and 4?
Oh, 3 and 4 historically here has opened up a little bit. The width works, but John Hunter Nemechek, just a better car right now.
You saw the nice hand out the window, like, thanks. I always wonder what a driver thinks. He's like, thanks, I didn't let you go. I'm racing you for all it's worth. Like, if it just irritates you even more when the guy waves kind of like you cut him a break.
Want to get a few updates on the Championship 4? We'll start with Dave.
Rick, just a quick update in terms of how he has progressed over time. He was asked this week, why are you better? And he talked about the notebook that he's built and the humbleness to go talk to drivers in different garages and get information from them, learn how to do it better. But I have to say, after what we just saw, discipline might be one that he does better too, because as soon as he got in the bumper of the 21, they told him discipline, discipline. And he waited, and then he made the pass, Marty.
Nemechek may have the lead, Dave, but Cole Custer rolling through the field. He sat on the pole here in the spring, and when I talked to him about that this week, he said what we lacked was long run speed. Well, guess what they have today? Long run speed, where they can match John Hunter Nemechek. If they can get a little more track position, sitting in third right now, I think they feel like they have something for the 20 car, Kim.
Well, for Sam Mayer, he has never finished in the top 10 here at Phoenix, so he knew he had to do his homework coming into it. He told you guys during our Countdown to Green coverage that he watched 15 hours of film. He watched every race here from 2017 to 2023 to prepare. He spent over an hour on the phone with Noah Gregson picking his brain, and he has done his homework. He is knowing how to attack this racetrack, Marty, currently in the 6th position.
Kim, Justin Allgaier up to 9th. Steve wanted top 15. How about top 10 for Allgaier? He is up 23 spots after that latest restart. Enjoy what he just said on the radio just a moment ago.
Copy, my balance is phenomenal. I just telling you. Cycle tires this next time, so you're gonna have to be ready for it to tighten up a little bit. It might take a half a pound out of the right front. So, bro, I'm with you. I just made the first mistake. I'll let somebody else make the next one.
I made the first mistake. I'll let someone else make the next one. So, Steve, to the point Jim Pullman just said, we're going to put on those tires that do have an extra lap on them, the ones they put on the first of the race, and he spun on. That's what they're going to put on this stop. Do you agree? Get that set out of the way early in the race?
Yeah, just like Jeff mentioned about mistakes, you have to have them early. You don't want to have that to set. You have to put on when everything's on the line with 20 to go later in the race. Put them on, manage it through the 2nd stage. And I like what Jim Pullman said. Because those tires have a lap on them, I'm going to make a little adjustment. I expect them to be a little tighter than what brand new Goodyears would feel like.
We talked to Justin Allgaier this week. He made the comment that the win at Martinsville, it was not expected. When they were sitting under a red flag condition, he sat there and was trying to go through every single possibility of how he could make it into the Championship 4, and there wasn't anything that came to him. And so when the restart happened and the doors opened and the powers that be put him in front, he said, we're playing with house money now. When we come to Phoenix, this is something that we can go after. And he has that kind of carefree, loose feel about him. But, boy, he is looking very strong as after that restart, he's been able to work his way up to the 8th position now.
Yeah, the fastest car on the racetrack. Also a fast race car is Sam Mayer. He's in 6th place. As this run has gone on, he's gotten faster. He's running the guys down in front of him. You can see this battle right here. This is slowing his progress up just a little bit, but he has a fast race car. Intentionally laid back on entry right there to try to get underneath both of these guys. And it's not about stage points, Steve. It's about gaining some track position before the end of this stage. Spoke to Marty Lindley this morning, his crew chief, very confident. feels like they have a really good long-run race car. And if anybody knows this Marty Lindley, he is the son of a legendary short track racer, Butch Lindley. 2 championships, won tons of races. Unfortunately, was severely injured, ended his career, was in a coma for 5 years before he ultimately passed away. Marty Lindley grew up with his dad being his idol. Garage right down the road, learned how to work on race cars, had a driving career of his own. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was a respected Butch Lindley a lot, actually helped Marty, gave him some money, gave him some cash to buy tires, didn't want him to tell anybody, wanted a secret because that's how Earnhardt was, but a legendary name into short track racing.
Kim.
And Marty Lindley asking Sam Mayer how his balance is. Sam said really freaking good. Sam is so happy with this race car. Kevin Hamlin, the spotter, chiming in here and there to kind of coach him around the track where he can find gains. Most recently said, really good 3 and 4. If you can exit, though, a little bit better off of 2, it'll be a huge gain on the competition.
Well, if he wants a better exit off, too, that was pretty impressive right there. He kind of was patient to the power, got a little bit better drive off. Now he is in 3 and 4, the banked end, rolling the bottom. I asked him what changes. I mean, you won 4 races of the last 13. He said restarts were good, and I've also just learned to be a little more methodical. That's not a word I expect to ever see Sam Mayer say, but that's what you're seeing right here is that same patience.
We talked to him before his very first Xfinity race.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's your expectation? Oh, we'll win. We'll win. I'm like, excuse me? Yep, we'll win. And he believed it. He 100% believed it, and that confidence went away. Without success, that confidence went away, but now it is fully back. He fully believes in himself.
Final lap of stage 1, and again, where are the Champ 4 drivers running? They have a purple line underneath their name on the left of your screen, and it's John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer that are running 1 and 2 as stage 1 comes to an end here. And so the first win of the day goes to John Hunter Nemechek. He will win stage 1. Cole Custer running 2nd. Mayer is in the 5th position, and Allgaier is in 7th of the championship 4.
Can you believe that, Rick? Back to 7th. Spun out backwards 40 laps ago. Finished the 7th in the stage.
Champ 4, a little swagger about them, and they're showing why. All finishing in the top 7 of stage 1. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship from Phoenix Raceway. The sun begins to set over the grandstands here. And right out in front of the field, the Toyota GR Supra is the official pace car for today's championship race, as we see cars making their way onto pit road, headed toward you, Kim.
Including Sam Mayer. He said he was happy with the balance, thought it was good. He gave it a little bit more thought, though, did tell the team, I think it tightened up a little in the center, probably need to be freed up just a tick. He also said he used up the rubber on the right front. The call by crew chief Marty Lindley, track power adjustment, 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and Sunoco fuel on that Chevrolet, Marty.
Cole Custer said his car is too tight, 9th to 2nd for Custer, and he said he thinks the track is tightening up as well. Justin Allgaier gained 25 spots on the track, and the pit crew gained some here on pit road as well. So the balance is awesome. Don't touch it, Dave.
John Hunter Nemechek's car is doing everything right, and that time the crew did everything right as well. He retains the lead, leaving pit road.
Boys, we did not get the windshield tear off, though. That's the only thing.
And there you heard radio from Allgaier, but 4 spots on pit road. That #1 stall definitely helping out Allgaier. This racetrack has been the site of championships, and that means it's been life-changing for quite a few different drivers, able to hoist the championship trophy at season's end. Who will it be tonight? NBC Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship on USA is brought to you by Credit One Bank, a credit card company, and by Xfinity Mobile. Switch to one of the fastest growing mobile services. Visit xfinitymobile.com today. Championship 4, this is what we would expect. They are currently running 1, 2, 3, 4 after great pit stops by their crew. And surprisingly, Justin Allgaier has not had an uneventful day. It started very quickly when he went 3 wide, got sideways.
Yeah, mistake right there early in the race. But he said, no problem, I got it. Quickly drove up through the pack, got to 7th place, and then made it look easy. And here's the great pit stop, but also that #1 stall.
Yeah, that #1 stall, he only has to go to the white line. Look at his hand. He wants that windshield tear off as well. Some funny radio. He said they didn't get the windshield tear off, and I think Jim Pullman said, well, then we're equal because you spun out early. So next time we'll get the tear off as well. This is a crew that knows what they're doing. They know the value of that pit stall, and they used it to their advantage right away.
And what is a windshield tear off, and why do you need it? You simply, they put layers of clear film on front of the windshield. You can pull one layer off, and why does that matter? I'm getting ready to show you. So when this car goes into the sun, look how on the left side of his windshield, how it's pitted up. When the sun hits it, it's worse. It's harder to see out of that. Every layer you peel off, it just makes it cleaner. It doesn't last a long time, Steve, but it definitely makes a difference.
Well, you know that because of experience. How about that for experience? Look at the pit crew right there. That front changer, Donnie Tasser, how does he know what he's doing in pit stall 1? He was a front tire changer for Kyle Larson when he won the championship on a pit stop from that same pit stall. So if you want some calm experience, getting the work done, I'd like to have a guy who's been there before. Impressive work by the 7 team.
I heard his pit crew coach say that he's one of the best at 5 lug nut changes. So now the Champ 4 back under green, and Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek fighting for that top spot as they go into turn 1.
Custer has cleared John Hunter Nemechek up the racetrack, trying to move him up out of the groove. Aggressive move by 00 driver Cole Custer.
I don't know where Dale Jr. is right now, but his anxiety is going to be through the roof because his team cars are side by side. The 7 of Allgaier, the 1 of Sam Mayer, Chandler Smith in the 16, giving no break to the 7.
We have to remember too, Justin Allgaier put those slightly older tires, has about 1 to 2 laps on them. They put those back on. That's why he might be falling back a little bit here at the beginning.
And that's why they put them on now. You cannot afford to be at a disadvantage later in the race, so just settle in. It's a great point, Rick, and there you go. There's your son, Jeff.
It's the worst time, though, to have a slow takeoff around all of these cars, and you're a little bit slower. It's easy to get spun out in these situations. If you watch restart wrecks, it's simply because the guy in front doesn't have the pace. The people behind him don't recognize it and make contact. So for a guy in a championship that's already had one spin, he's got to be really smart here.
We have to watch how he's going to get raced. It looks like Austin Hill is going to put a lot of pressure on him now.
Yeah, and I'm going to give Hill credit. I think he actually cut him some slack right there. I believe that Hill could have felt he was outside, kept his position. You wonder in a non-championship race if he doesn't hold that spot, uses a little bit of better judgment, allows the 7 to slide up. Oh, we found him.
There's Dale Jr., team owner.
Doesn't look any more comfortable than we saw him earlier. We were heading to the track today, and he was kind of quiet. Man, so, man, you okay? I'm nervous. I'm nervous. The nerves have already set in.
Yeah, 2 cars in the championship 4 with Sam Mayer and Justin Allgaier. And he said, I'm definitely not going to sit on either one of those pit boxes. It's either going to be the 8 team or the 9 team. That's the pit box I'll sit on. Marty.
After the early spin, at least under the last caution, Justin Allgaier could have a little fun with what happened. Listen.
I think I misunderstood how much fun y'all wanted to have today at the start of the race. I think that must be what it is.
Nothing easy comes without some adversity.
Hey, do you remember the conversation we had in the hauler about starting position?
Yep.
Well, they got to run all the way through the field like they kind of joked about earlier today. Jeff, I don't know if you got this since Thursday when we were talking to Justin Allgaier. He just seems at peace no matter what happens. Yes, he knows it's his 6th time in the championship 4. Title or not, it seems like he is totally fine with whatever happens today. And maybe that's the right approach to this race to finally get his first ever championship.
Yeah, Marty, he does. You know, he says all the right things. He looks and sounds extremely relaxed. He's very comfortable with who he is, and he should be. But everybody wants to be a champion. I know for a fact because I never won one. It left a hole in my career. And you want to be a champion, but he is such an important part of this series, being an elder driver, spokesman, statesman, a guy younger drivers can look up to. And that's what this series is about. Bringing young drivers into an environment where they have somebody that's going to hold them accountable, not only by what they say, but what they do, and be willing to go talk to the young drivers and say, hey, buddy, we're not going to do that here. Justin does a great job at that.
John Hunter Nemechek, we're riding along with the Toyota onboard, looking forward at Cole Custer, who's leading the race. Now as the 21 of Austin Hill is going to clear that 7 of Allgaier.
So, Steve, here's my concern. So they put a set of scuffs on, right? Because he spun early. So do you make an adjustment to the car because the way it's driving now?
My brakes hurt my entry and exit. I moved him for the pit stop and didn't quite get him back.
All right, so he moved his brake adjustment for the pit stop because you want more bias to the front, and now he's got to get it back, and he forgot. But my point, Steve, is what adjustment do you make? The car drives differently on scuffs versus stickers. Do you make an adjustment off of this, thinking, hey, this is how it's going to drive, or do you think it is discussed? And I think that's the box that his crew chief has put in here.
Well, what I would do is take our information, listen into our teammate Sam Mayer, scan our competition, see if they're trending the same way to try to guess if it's the track. To your point, Jeff, it's not ideal, but it can't be a free lunch. You spun out. I mean, you're lucky nobody hit you. But that is going to be the weakness. Looking right here on this onboard, if you want to know, I'm going to draw for a second here. These things right here that kind of jump out at you, those are just some NACA ducts on the right side bringing air in to this 7 car, some fresh air in. It's a 1-mile racetrack. It's high speed, but you don't run a right side window. So you're allowed to close off so much. You run these NACA ducts. Actually, you can change the aero balance as well.
Justin Allgaier has been a part of the championship for 6 different times, and that has given him an appreciation and a little different perspective probably than the other 4 championship Ford drivers. Here's what he had to say.
You know, as much as I want to win a championship for myself, I equally as much or more want to win it for everybody else that's a part of this program. You know, all the guys on my team, everybody that's at the shop, you know, all of our sponsors and partners. I feel like everybody has supported and invested and put the effort into being here so many times, and you almost feel like you're letting people down, right? I think that's probably for me the reason why I would like to win a championship is not because of the accolade of it, just making sure that you can repay everybody that's put their blood, sweat, and tears into making this program successful.
And one of the biggest names that has done that for Allgaier is his sponsor, Rick Brandt. And that organization has been behind Justin for so long and have helped him continue to have such an incredible career in the Xfinity Series. And Rick Brandt is a huge race fan.
Yeah, I've known Rick a long time. You know, he doesn't just come and hang out in the suite. When he's here, he's in the motorhome lot, he's on pit road, he has a crew shirt on. Rick, to your point, you know, Brandt from the same state, from around the same area as Justin Allgaier, and just man, he loves racing. He partners with Justin. Justin's been a great spokesman for him for many, many, many years. I'm not sure anybody would celebrate. If there's anyone that would celebrate more than Justin, Rick Brandt would be at the top of the list from this championship.
I saw him before the race down there. He has looked like 100 people down there by the car taking pictures. They're excited to be here.
And right now, Allgaier, again, has fallen back to the 7th spot, running the furthest back of the championship 4. It's Custer, Nemechek, and Mayer running 1, 2, 3. Blake Shelton, Carson Daly, and Nikki Garcia star in Barmageddon while the celebrity competition show on television. The games return Monday, November 13th on USA. Fan zone here at Phoenix Raceway, second to none. The fans have incredible access to not only pit road, where they can see that up close and personal, but also Victory Lane. Well, they'll be surrounding it at the end of this race, but who will be in Victory Lane? Will it be Cole Custer, who has shown a lot of strength here in this second stage as he's out front of John Hunter Nemechek by almost 2 seconds now, 1.8 seconds the difference between the two of them. Then it's Mayer back 2.5 seconds behind him. Allgaier's fallen back to 8th now as far as the other championship Ford driver.
Spending some time with Custer, it was so interesting this week. He was talking about a lot of things, but he relives that Miami race. He had the lead after the last pit stop, and Tyler Reddick, of all people you want behind you at Miami, not Tyler Reddick, ran him down and passed him for the championship. And he took us through some pretty impressive detail of that day. It's funny what race car drivers can remember, but he said he learned a lot about that moment in kind of his driving career. I think that's going to be a big factor in today's race. He knows what he could have done different. We might see a change now. I think it was 2019 down in Miami. Here he is 4 years later, right? Same opportunity.
Let's learn a little bit more, and we'll start with Marty.
Rick, we also talked to him about his move down to the Xfinity Series, and he admitted to us on Thursday it was a hit to the ego, no doubt about it. He said, I stewed about it for a few weeks, and then I thought, okay, how can I become a better driver? Number one on this list, communication with the team, telling them what I want in the race car, and that has worked for Custer. Remember on that last one, he said, we're still a little bit too tight. The adjustment you made, Jonathan Tony, took about 3/4 of what we needed. I need a little bit more, Dave.
Professional stock car racing is not easy. Best car stage 1, the 20. Not now. Right now, John Hunter Nemechek cannot get into the corner well. The car is too free. He needs an adjustment to get the 20 back to where it needs to be, Kim.
For Sam Mayer running in the 3rd position, when I talked to him this weekend, he said he felt the least amount of pressure or nerves he has felt all year long. He said, I'm just happy and grateful to make my first championship 4. And guys, remember, for such a young driver, he is the youngest of those championship 4 at just 20. He has a great perspective. He said, this is a one-race shootout. I can only do so much. This is not a reflection of the great season I've had. Right now, they just are telling him to continue to wrap the bottom longer off of 2.
Wrap the bottom off of 2 means just carry longer on the bottom. Try to use that line as a kind of extra grip down there. Sheldon Creed has been all over the 7 car of Allgaier and has been very respectful. He has had several opportunities to get really aggressive on corner entry. He's not done it. He's faster. He is clearly faster than the 7, but being very careful, showing a ton of respect.
And remember, Sheldon Creed had the penalty where he had to come back on the pit road and has worked his way back up inside the top 10, now fighting for that 8th spot that Allgaier currently holds.
And Allgaier, look, I'm going to give him a lot of credit. He's trusted Sheldon Creed. He's giving him the bottom. He's saying, look, I'm going to give you the bottom. If you can pass me down there, just go for it. And that shows a lot of trust to Sheldon Creed that he's going to respect him, not get into him.
Allgaier biding his time is what his crew has told him. Let's get through this set of tires. It's a little bit older. He, again, spun really on the 2nd lap of this race. And so they put those tires back on under this most recent caution. But a long run here in stage 2. Currently 28 laps of green flag racing with just 10 laps to go in stage 2. Again, no points. They're out the window when it comes to the championship 4. But they are very important for the rest of the competition because the fight for 5th in points is a notch in your belt as far as something that you've been able to accomplish. If you weren't able to get into the championship 4, if you can still finish 5th in the point standings, that means you are just outside of this group.
Yeah, and that point standing currently led by the 21 of Austin Hill, Sammy Smith right behind him. Then the 10, the 16, a couple Collett cars. This 2 right here of Sheldon Creed sits 9th in points, but he can move forward or back with the run he has today. So as Rick pointed out, Jeff, you know, a lot of money position to this team on how you finish, and these are smaller teams, smaller budgets than the Cup Series, it can really make a difference heading into next year.
Points, money, everything we're racing for. It's not just for the championship four.
You mentioned earlier, Steve, the 21 of Austin Hill, currently 5th in a point standings. Well, he and the 2 of Sheldon Creed, they both had an opportunity to make it into the championship four. This was the last restart. The 2 of them, remember, teammates from Richard Childress Racing, were fighting for the lead. And Sheldon Creed, it looked as though he was going to take the lead and go on to win the race. He was slow off of turn 4. The 21 got in the back of him. He spins. The 7 gets by, and that means the 2 or the 21. They both did not make it into the championship four.
Tight race between teammates. And look at this race right here. Sam Mayer has caught John Hunter Nemechek. John's not as quick on this run, on the long run. Sam is faster, but it's going to be a difficult pass. It's flatter down there where Sam is. John Hunter's going to get good exit speed off of 2. And now Sam Mayer's going to have the preferred line down here. He's got to get his left sides right on that yellow line, throttle up, get alongside John Hunter. Now hang a left. Shortcut this front straightaway. Get as far away as you can. Now just overdrive the entry and just take the spot.
We're still bringing caution.
Issue, we have the 11. Sparks flying underneath it. Derek Kraus. Looks like the right front down on that car, and the caution has come out with just 5 to go.
Does that happen?
And Derek Kraus had an issue with speeding on pit road under the most recent caution. He was running 22nd.
It's pretty heavy damage to the right side of that car.
Kraus, just a 22-year-old out of Stratford, Wisconsin.
A lot of late model racing for Derek. Unfortunately, he's run some quite a few Xfinity races. Unfortunately, this one, what's bad about this, Steve, is
Thank you guys. Sorry that it ended like this. Appreciate a little better peace.
the loss of experience for a young driver, right? He's going to give up the penalty earlier. He'll learn from that, but then just not having track time, not being able to run this entire race with such limited practice, it's a big deficit to overcome, falling out of a race early.
This was his 8th start in the Xfinity Series this year. And it's going to end with the AMR safety crew is going to take him back to the infield care center.
And with only 4 to go, field coming by the wreck scene now to 3 to go. Pit road yet to open. This should end the second stage.
So the crews are ready. They know that they'll be back under the spotlight here in just a moment. Here's why the caution comes out. The 11 of Kraus way down on the racetrack, and he slides up and into the outside wall. Coming up on the end of stage 2, you're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship from Phoenix Raceway. This is the 4th caution of the afternoon. 89 laps complete, 1 to go in stage 2. And 111 laps remaining in this race to determine a champion. Cole Custer is out front. Sam Mayer's running second. John Hunter Nemechek is third, and Allgaier, the other Championship 4 competitor, is in the 9th position. And now it will once again fall on the crew members to get these cars either back out in their current position or maybe gain some spots. For Cole Custer, he wants to hold on to this lead. See his team ready to go. John Hunter Nemechek in the 20. That team trying to maybe gain some spots back after he lost 2 positions on the racetrack. Sam Mayer has had a great rebound after starting the furthest back of all of the Championship 4 drivers. But then, of course, there's Allgaier, who has that very first pit stall, and they got him out third after he was able to fight from the back all the way up into the top 7 before the caution came out. There you see the green and white checkered flag being displayed. That means that Cole Custer is going to get credit for winning stage 2.
We saw that battle with Sam Mayer and John Hunter Nemechek. Sam had gotten underneath John Hunter, and he never quite cleared him, but he was in front of the 20 car when they crossed the loop, when the caution, just before the caution came out. So that lined Sam Mayer up in front of John Hunter. Why does that matter? Well, now, if your guys have a good pit stop, you are that much closer to being able to get the lead right here.
Field on its way back down pit road, and they'll come to Kim first.
And for Sam Mayer on that balance, he said, I was pretty free, about a 3 or 4 out of 10, just over rotating. He said the middle's probably the worst part because it affects the exit. But he did make a caveat. He said, but I need to be a little free to make speed, so do what you think is best. Crew Chief Marty Lindley saying we'll make a slight adjustment, give you 4 fresh Goodyear tires. So no, go fuel, Dave.
John Hunter Nemechek said his car was free leaving the wall, and on the exit of the corner, he said, I need more overall grip. He'll get that with a chassis adjustment, a wrench going through the back window, as well as air pressure, Marty.
Cole Custer said that started a little bit better, but still got too tight at the end of the run. That's what he fought on the first run. Jim Pullman told Justin Allgaier in reference to the older tires, thanks for fighting for me. Allgaier said, quote, it's game on now, but the pit crew who gained spots on the last stop will lose some on this stop.
Yeah, he's going to lose a bunch of spots there. So there was a little issue in pit road too. We're on pit road, the 18 of Sammy Smith, that fueler, a little bit of gas being spilled there, and so they had to put that out. The official app of NASCAR Tracks has the latest race and event information from all of your favorite tracks, including Phoenix. Search NASCAR Tracks in the App Store to download for free.
20 of John Hunter Nemechek currently in fourth. Well, Gregory Powell right here, the tire carrier, picks up the tire down onto the concrete, made a nice recovery. This hurts. I have done it. That hurts. A knee right onto the concrete. Luckily, nobody is injured. Jeff, and talk about luckily no injuries. This is amazing.
You want to be a pit crew member? Watch this. The left rear tire changer comes out of the fire. He's on fire. Hey, put me out, man. Just put me out. Put me out on fire. I'm on fire. Not running, not screaming, not jumping up and down. Fireman puts him out. Now, I still got a job to do. Let me get over here and change my tire. Hey, quit spraying my car. Quit. I can't see what you're doing. Quit it. I'm going to put this tire on. That is the mindset of a pit crew member. They are not normal. Those guys are brave. They're tough. It shows you what kind of athletes they are.
He's saying, I was on fire. He goes, the fire was in my face. I was on fire. They put me out, and then I went ahead and put the tire back on. All right, let's check in with the Peacock Pit Box. And KP, I want to start with you. Have you seen anything out of the Championship 4 that would say this driver ahead of another looks like they could win the title today?
Really, I haven't seen anything yet. You know what I mean? We saw Nemechek the first part. We saw Cole Custer the second part. We see Mayer making a run at the end of that. The 7 car, now he's back on equal tires. Yeah. What are we going to see now?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Now we're going to have just over 100 laps as we start this for that championship. Who has made an adjustment? It has cooled down tremendously out here. We know how that changes the track. We heard a lot of guys talking about loose. Who's made that best adjustment for their driver?
Yeah, absolutely. Allgaier's done a great job of bouncing back. He had a little adversity early on, but the other 3 just riding around, Rick.
Riding around. Well, guess what? It's getting serious now.
Well, DJ did a great job explaining this longer stage. 106 laps to go right now. That's outside of a fuel window. These cars can run, we'll call it 90 laps. Some can run just short of 90, just over 90. So a pit stop required. It could be under green. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
This is the first time Sam Mayer has had nothing in front of him. He now Cole Custer on the inside. He chose the outside lane. This is the most clean air this car has seen all day long. We don't know what kind of pace he's had. He's not been able to show it. Does he have enough to take the fight to Cole Custer?
Sam Mayer got his very first win in the Xfinity Series at Road America earlier this year, and the confidence has continued to build. Let's see what he does. Starting up front now for the final stage here at Phoenix. Custer on the inside with the advantage as they go into 1. Austin Hill in the 21 was going to challenge that one, but now he has to check up just a bit, and John Hunter Nemechek able to clear it.
Puts RCR teammates side by side. That was a battle a week ago at Martinsville. We'll see if they're a little cleaner here at Phoenix today.
John Hunter with a really good takeoff speed, trying to get underneath Sam Mayer.
Riding along, looking back from the Xfinity mobile onboard of Sam Mayer, and John Hunter Nemechek trying to put pressure on him. Allgaier came off of pit road in the 7th position, has lost a couple spots on the restart, but now fighting back. He's going to take one away from his teammate Josh Berry.
Justin's car, after that spin early in the race, flew through the field, but it's harder up here. It's tougher competition.
The 8 will hold off Riley for a little bit while you put this guy away.
Now the sun has gone behind the suites, so not an issue for these drivers as the entire track now in shade.
That was Eddie DeHunt, the spotter of the 7, letting him know that the 8 is battling with Riley behind him while he works ahead. But that's kind of like saying, hey, focus forward, as we see the Nemechek in one battle. I like Eddie. He can be my hype man. I like everything I've heard out of him today. I need to take him out in the golf course, get me pumped up for every shot, because he's calm, cool, collected. He said it. He went back to front with the championship with Chase Elliott a few years ago, trying to repeat that feat with Justin Allgaier today.
Put this guy away.
Trying to get by the 16 of Chandler Smith here, and really tight racing.
Still tight.
I mean, listen to the tone. It's like we're at a coffee shop.
Cameron Smith in at 16, his last race with Colleague Racing.
Chandler not be back with Colleague next year.
I like this look right here. The 7 kind of looked high, almost rolled to the outside to carry some momentum. Got to follow the 16 down into the corner here. Try to look just a fender lower, right? So just some air to that left front fender.
As confident as this team was driving through the field, Steve, that's not there now. It just isn't. They just blasted through there. Car's great, love my car, laughing, carrying on. Something's got to change. They're going to have to find a way to get their car better.
Well, you mentioned it. How do they make adjustments? The track is changing.
Got a wreck on the other straightaway.
Oh, we got a caution on the racetrack. Oh, the fan-controlled ride. 08, heavy damage, dragging.
Yeah, J.J. Yaley's behind the wheel, but behind a lot of the changes and the things that they do, the fans. How about this car?
It was just amazing. I thought it was going to be just a couple options they were going to give the fans to vote on. Then I logged on and checked this thing out. Spring rate. I mean, there were some things that they were asking the fans to kind of be a part of. I thought it was super interactive, a great idea.
If I'm the competition, I'm signing on that thing and I'm setting it up for him. I'm going to make his day long.
I think you only have a few options, Jeff. I don't know if you can sabotage the car.
It would only take a few.
And so the crew looks like they're getting ready to see if they can do a little damage control for that 08 of Yaley.
Now, the interesting thing is with 98 laps to go, you know, I don't think they're quite close enough to their fuel window, but this is going to get interesting. Let's see what happens to the 08.
Can't tell if there's, looks like there's some help there. It's really hard to tell from that shot.
Fan control turned into Chris Hacker controlled. He was kind of pushing the 08 off the corner.
Yeah. Chris Hacker mad they didn't put his setup in there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, an issue there. He couldn't even get into his stall without running into that pit wall.
Oh, wow.
So this will take a little bit of time for the safety crew to come and take care of this.
So this will be interesting. 97 to go. If pit road stays closed for a few more laps, you know, if I'm Custer, Nemechek, Mayer, I don't think you see that face right there, Jonathan Turner. That is a face of, man, I think we're getting closer to a fuel window. I'm not going to pit from the lead, but this is getting concerning. Now that's my point. So right now the 3 playoff cars running 1, 2, 3. I think you're kind of committed. Justin Allgaier and Jim Pullman from 8th. I think it would still be a pretty big gamble to come get gas. But I think some cars in the field will come top off their fuel tanks in case this does run green. They can avoid the pit stop.
So pit road is open, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any takers. The 08 of Yaley, yeah, when your tires are flat, it's very difficult to control that car. And he's into the pit wall. Next Saturday in Columbus, the Ohio State Buckeyes will look to stay undefeated when they host the Michigan State Spartans at the Horseshoe. It's Big Ten football on NBC and Peacock. Here comes Saturday night. And this Saturday night in the desert, we're going to find out who the Xfinity Series champion will be. And right now, their current running position under this caution: Cole Custer up front, John Hunter Nemechek running second, Sam Mayer is third, and Allgaier is in the 8th spot. Again, whichever one finishes in front of the other three is the series champion. Cole Custer, again, running up front. He actually did double duty today. He helped qualify the 6 car for Brad Keselowski, who got on a plane this morning early because his wife went into labor. He got back in time and just tweeted out not very long ago, "Boy, Dad." So congratulations to the Keselowski family. He will be back for tomorrow's race, but Cole Custer did the qualifying for him. Marty.
Things looking good for Cole Custer in the lead right now, but is there a concern with the car? Listen on the radio.
Corner, just because by walking left front, the brakes felt a little bit weird there. Felt like maybe they're getting a little bit longer. It's starting to get pretty hot on temperature too. I can't get it to cool down, and it was 260 under green right there. I don't know, the gauge might be going bad or something. Now it's like showing 270, and I've been cooling it down. So I don't know what's going on.
Little concern there, Steve. He said he actually got it to cool down just a little bit, and now it's down to 235 for the Waters. You see the owner, Tony Stewart, here hanging out today at Phoenix, trying to see if his driver can win a championship in the Xfinity Series. So they've got it a little bit cooler, and Jonathan Toney told him, hey, listen, Control-Alt-Delete. We're all good. Let's just move forward with 94 to go.
So, Steve, hopefully they're not too concerned about that temperature issue. Temperature, speaking of it, beautiful out here in the desert, just outside of Phoenix, and so many things to do when you come to this area. You can hike, climb, take in the wildlife. Such beautiful sceneries here in the Phoenix, Arizona area. They've been working to clean up pit road so that it can be open for pit stops if they want. Under 92 laps to go. And they're side by side getting ready for the restart as the lights are off on the pace car. It's Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek that are making up row 1. And Sheldon Creed has worked his way up into the 2nd row alongside of Sam Mayer.
So now John Hunter Nemechek, he early in this race looked like he had the best car. Custer got by him, drove away from him. They had to make some adjustments on it. He ended up getting by Sam Mayer. Now he has clean air on the outside of Cole Custer. Have they made the right adjustments?
It'll be 91 laps remaining, and it's just outside the fuel window, so we know that there's going to be a pit stop. As they get back underway, Cole Custer diving all the way down. Pit road exit there. And trying to shorten that dog leg. And he has a lot of pressure on his outside as he slides up the racetrack. Here comes the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek.
John Hunter got the preferred position right there. Took the air away from Cole Custer, got him loose, took the lead away from him. That's a difficult decision, Steve, to be leading the race. I just don't know that you can pick the bottom with a car like John Hunter on the outside of you.
Here comes Sam Mayer. He looks to the inside of that tube of Sheldon Creed, not able to make the pass.
Yeah, Sam Mayer's going the wrong way here. Chandler Smith putting 3 wide on the restart. Lost that spot. Now Sheldon Creed, who also has been flying through the field. Remember, he was penalized earlier. Had to go all the way to the back of the pack, and he's driven up here to 4th.
We ride along with Sam Mayer. He's got those 4 cars in front of him he has to deal with now.
And he's been willing to do this. Up on the outside in the second lane. He's been making it work on the outside of Chandler Smith. If you are the spotter for one of the 4 championship drivers, you've got to tell them that second lane will work. You've got to be willing to go up there at some point.
If you're Kevin Hamlin, the spotter of the 1, you don't have to tell him because he has a front row seat.
Making it work for him. I'll keep you posted. Still clear about 5 on him.
That's Sheldon Creed we're talking about, running that second line in the 2, and he's taken the spot away from Chandler Smith.
One thing's for sure, though, Sheldon Creed has nothing to lose. If he gets up there, gets in the wall, makes a mistake, he's leaving RCR Racing. He's not in the championship battle. These guys in the championship 4, if they get up there and get in the wall and make a mistake, it could be the end of their day. So there's risk versus reward running in that second line, and Sheldon Creed is not concerned about the risk at all.
Well, with 87 to go, though, if you're this one of Sam Mayer, I mean, I know you're running 5th, but that's no good. Not with the playoff car leading and another 1 second, so it might be time to venture up there. You might need an adjustment, Jeff, right? You need to go up there and run it a few times because maybe you need your car to turn a little better or have a little better rear grip, and you can't try that after the last pit stop and complain to me that you want your car to drive different. I can't help you.
That is a great point, Steve. If I don't go up there, I'm never going to know. And you just saw Cole Custer seeing what was happening behind him, went to that second lane, blocked the advance of Sheldon Creed.
And on board with Sam Mayer, he was doing the same thing. He ran up top, got a great run on corner exit. Now he's going to be inside the 16 of Chandler Smith. Try to run him a little high here on exit, all the way up. Now turn left, get away from him. No, he decides to stay on the racetrack.
It's a hard pass, though. We saw that outside working, and Chandler Smith's going to use it. Up the racetrack. There's good grip here. Should get good exit speed. Here it comes.
Just there, still there.
That's why it's hard to make that pass on the bottom.
I really thought down the front stretch, he should have turned left to try to cut that dog leg. Just the distance sometimes will get you clear where you could pull up in front of him. Let's see if he does it again. So he's right to the 16's door. Once again, patience, stays on the dog leg.
When he was in 1 and 2 this last time, he was way down on the apron. It looks like he's going to do it again, down to the apron for the 1 of Mayer. Still not quite able to clear Chandler Smith.
And Austin Hill's watching it. So watch what Austin Hill does. He's going to try to jump to the outside of Mayer. And this battle for the lead, it's going on also. Steve, Creed being there is changed Custer's game, because if Custer makes a mistake, Sheldon Creed's going to take that spot, and now Custer's running 3rd.
I like what Custer's doing, though, because I think he's learning about this. On the bottom, we have Sam Mayer, the 21, the 16. Allgaier, I don't know what Allgaier's thinking here, but this has got to be a little bit of a challenge in front of him.
Well, it was 3 wide for a moment there. Austin Hill had gone in between, and now it looks like it's going to be 3 wide again. No, Mayer is able to clear Chandler Smith that time. Let's see what Austin Hill does, though, with the 21, how hard he attacks turn 1.
I think the 1 is in that preferred lane. Look at the 7. He's going to go try the, I said 3rd lane. The 7's in like the 4th lane. He should have a huge run down the straightaway.
Almost into the wall.
Yeah, somebody flipped the upper lane work switch. It just happened in the last few laps.
7's even going to give it a run down here. I know he's in the 2nd lane, but he's way up the racetrack.
He's able to clear Chandler Smith. And now Allgaier is up into the 6th spot.
So you can see what's happened with Justin Allgaier and the speed that they have. that they didn't have earlier. It's forcing him to try something different. The leader is driving away from him. He's got to find some speed somewhere, so he's had to take the risk of running that second and third lane, Marty.
So, Jeff, you asked for a championship driver spotter to tell him, hey, try the higher line. Eddie DeHaan arrived on the scene. Right after you said that, he said, hey, the 2 has come through the field, and he's told our guy this a couple of times tonight. He's using that higher line. Let's go try it. Allgaier has done that. It has worked so far, up to 6 on this run. Gonna get Austin Hill moving to the top 5.
Hill up in front of Allgaier. But it's Nemechek that still has the #1 spot with Cole Custer behind him, Sheldon Creed, Mayer, and Hill the top 5. A fight for the lead. Here comes Sheldon Creed on the outside. John Hunter Nemechek trying to stay in front, but now the race is going to be led by the 2 of Sheldon Creed. Again, not one of the Championship 4 drivers, but out front looking for his first ever Xfinity Series win.
Watch what he does on the entrance into 1. He's up the racetrack immediately. He doesn't go on the bottom and slide up there. He enters on the top. And that's where the danger is, Steve. If you cross over, you get too high, you get in the wall, you make a mistake. He's willing to do it. All of the speed starts running this high line by entering higher than you're comfortable doing. But that's what you have to be willing to do. Watch this. See, Nemechek is learning. Nemechek saying, all right, it's working. I'm going to try to run up there. And I kind of like the fact that Nemechek didn't fight. This car and this driver are doing a good job running a lane that no one else has been running. Let me see what he's been doing and see if I can do it.
Well, the 20 works very well in the bottom. Here you see him close into the rear bumper of the 2.
And if you remember, a year ago there was traction compound put to the racetrack. There wasn't this year, and this has to be a very good sign that they don't need it. If you're able to run almost near the wall in 1 and 2. Here comes the 7.
Yeah, and he's the 21 is doing nothing wrong. He's racing and racing very hard, but the 7 is running out of patience. He's running out of patience because with 71 to go, he's watching the 20 and the 00 get smaller out the front windshield. So now, what was then a normal pass is going to have to be pushed a little bit more. Like right here, slide up, try to clear him, or overdrive this corner and slide up in front of the 21 just like this. It was time to take the spot. Even if the 21 gets a run, be a little defensive, move on.
Austin Hill got the message. When Allgaier drove into turn 3 the lap before and just overdrove the heck out of the corner and slid up, that was the message. Hey, I'm coming. You're going to move out of my way, or I'm going to move you out of the way.
Yeah, as we were watching this battle right here, the 20 of Nemechek got back by the 2 of Creed.
Yeah, so the lesson was learned. This is how he made the pass. He ran up there where Creed had passed him, figured it out, and decided, okay, I can use that same line. I'll do a pass here, get in front of you, and now I've got the faster line.
Yeah, Creed had some kind of problem right there. As quickly as John Hunter passed him, oh, there it is, super loose, really, really loose on corner entry.
Some kind of problem equals almost wrecking.
Yes.
So back to second goes Sheldon Creed, and back out front is John Hunter Nemechek. Dave.
And Rick, we did see there that John Hunter Nemechek's car was vulnerable. He radioed the crew during the last caution saying, I will need more for the long run. Now you saw he got Cole Custer at that restart, but for the long run, he says, I need more right rear grip. That report came about 12 laps ago. So we'll see. Nemechek again out front. Not sure the car is exactly where he wants it, but he's exactly where he needs to be if it ended here to be the champion. He's ahead of everybody else.
Steve, who dictates when they come to pit road? I mean, is it going to be race leader John Hunter Nemechek, or will somebody force his hand like Cole Custer or Allgaier, who's the furthest back of the championship four? Which will come first?
Well, we're a long ways from there. They're only going to probably come with about 15 or 20 to go. So I think at this point, it depends on how big of a lead you have. If you're John Hunter, I'm not going to pit first from the lead. I'm going to make one of the other championship fours gamble, and then I'm going to decide if they're close enough that I'm even worried about it.
So John Hunter Nemechek back out front looking for a championship, but he told us it's not so much the championship, it's really getting here that's the most difficult.
It's very hard to get to Phoenix. To start with 38 drivers, the first race of the year, go through the whole season, then when the playoffs come, to start with 12 drivers and dwindle down to 4 over 2 rounds of 3 races. It's very hard. You can't have any bad weeks. You have to execute to the fullest potential possible, and luckily we were able to do so. But it's not an easy task for sure.
That's the immediate on how you do it, but the way you do it takes years and years and years. John Hunter Nemechek, his father, Joe Nemechek, Cup winner, won tons of experience. Oh, big wreck here.
Myatt Snyder in the 19 into the wall, and that will bring the caution out. So the 6th caution has come out. Myatt was running 13th. Let's take a look at what happened. Raja Caruth in the 17th.
Oh, wow. Rear tires, like he said, it locked the rear tires up, and you could see the back of the car really moving around a lot. Yeah, there's no contact. It's actually wheel hopping. That is an odd thing to happen on an oval racetrack, to see the wheels hopping like that. I couldn't quite make out what he said on the radio, but he said something about the rear tires locking up.
Well, and Myatt Snyder had just reported to his team that the brake pedal had started going to the floor, so he was definitely having brake issues.
So what happens is you get loose ends, you keep turning front brake in it, and finally the fronts fade, the rears walk. Watch the left rear tire on this 19. The 25 doesn't hit him. The back of the car starts to move. And now watch this violent hop. Almost the tire locks up. It starts skipping across the pavement. That is the rear tire is basically locked up on this car, out of control. Myatt Snyder into the wall. It's either a mechanical issue, which is very possible, or a balance issue. You know, Myatt doesn't drive this car all year long. He doesn't know perhaps some of the limitations of what adjustments he's allowed or not allowed, what could be too much one way. We just heard the 00 talk about, hey, don't do that again.
Watch the left front. Watch the left front wheel. See it start to get orange in there? That's the brake rotor glowing. The rear tires are locked up. The brakes are locking the rear tires up, but you can see how much brake he's applying to it by looking at the rotor start glowing red. He knew he was in trouble, Steve, just trying to keep the thing from wrecking.
And what this does with 62 to go is you absolutely can make it on fuel. So you have a couple sets of tires. There may be another caution. But if you're a pit crew member, if you're a driver, if you're a crew, you have to think this is it. This is the championship opportunity. If you want to win a championship, no mistakes, but here they are. 1, 3, 4, 5. The championship 4 all lined up. Can pit stall 1 pay off for Justin Allgaier? Can this be the moment that gives him a chance at a championship?
Look at the gap Sam Mayer left between himself and Cole Custer. You need to be right on the rear bumper of the car in front of you.
Kim.
And they told Sam he lost a car length last stop, so they said get very aggressive getting into the box. Sam said he fired off a 1-2 tight. He said we've got speed, just worried about the right front. Marty said we cannot get too far behind on these restarts. We have the speed to win this thing. 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, Dave.
John Hunter Nemechek needed right rear grip. It'll be a 4-tire change, air pressure adjustment, and chassis adjustment. Marty.
Cole Custer said we have to get the tightness out of this car. I just can't do what those other guys are doing. Justin Allgaier said you held my rear lateral grip. I need more of that. Allgaier with the #1 pit stall will gain 1 spot here. And look at that, the championship 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, Rick.
Yep, they are in the top 5 right now. You got Sheldon Creed still up there as well, but it is going to be very interesting. Now, they've got enough fuel. They can get to the end. Will we go caution free? This happened to Myatt Snyder just moments ago to bring out this caution. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship from Phoenix Raceway. As the sun has set, beautiful view there, and the fans, I think this is from the big hair bands era. Def Leppard, AC/DC, a lot represented there and having a good time.
I thought that was you watching the truck race last night. That was tape recorded, no?
Yes, not quite. All right, 58 laps remaining in the championship for the Xfinity Series. Sheldon Creed is on the inside of row 1. John Hunter Nemechek, he is leading the Champ 4 drivers. For the lead, Sheldon Creed. And he has to check up. That slows the 7 down. And a little contact made.
Oh, that is going to be a big trouble for the 7. He doesn't get off the corner. Now he's way back here, 2 and 3 wide. The 1 of Mayer is the top 3 wide. Not a good restart for Junior Motorsports.
Restart was under review, and NASCAR has said it is good. Sheldon Creed falls back to 4th as Chandler Smith has been able to get around. Cole Custer now right behind the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek.
We'll see if they've been able to make adjustments to that 00 to find a little more pace. The 20 was definitely better on the last run. Now they don't have the 2 of Creed between them, though, as the 7 of Allgaier continues to battle, this time with a different RCR car. It was the 21, now it's the 2. Sam Mayer trying to find a way by his teammate, which can be very difficult.
Allgaier able to stay right on that rear quarter panel, now slides in behind the 2 of Creed. Allgaier very loose and comfortable early in this race, and now he's got the fights of a championship in front of him. 2 of his competitors are in front, 1's behind.
Yeah, 55 to go. The reality of the situation is starting to set in. Every lap goes by, every position matters that much more. Both the 7 of Allgaier, the 1 of Mayer, need to clear this 2 car.
Sheldon Creed's racing for his first win. Those 2 were side by side 1 week ago, coming to the checkered flag at Martinsville, and it ended up being the 7 of Allgaier by about 3 feet.
And Allgaier's patience had run out. He drove into the corner really deep, up the racetrack, checked Sheldon Creed up on corner exit. That allowed Sam Mayer to get underneath Creed.
What a great job by Mayer to get there. I think Sheldon wanted to cross the 7 over, and he wasn't exactly sure where the 1 was. That was really good driving by the youngster in the 1.
Marty.
Rick, by 1 non-playoff driver for Justin Allgaier. 1 more to go. Chandler Smith right in front of him. Jeff, Justin Allgaier has been very frustrated on the radio with the non-championship 4 drivers, especially Austin Hill on that last run. What's the right etiquette when you're not in the championship 4 to race those who are?
Marty, it is a very difficult situation for guys that aren't in the championship 4, but winning a race is a precious thing. You got to be respectful. Don't spin them, don't wreck them, don't do anything like that. But if you have speed to win the race, you got to go try to win it. Sponsors, team owners, crew members, you owe it to them to give everything you've got. I want to go back to the restart. Watch Cole Custer, who came out of that restart in 2nd place. Watch the move he makes. So they get a great launch. Everybody in the field goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Cole Custer says, I'm not doing it. Stays to the top. Look how much higher he is than everybody else. Watch how that helps him enter the corner. He enters high, able to carry speed, and look what he does to the 2 car. Gets to his outside, and now he is racing to 20 and gets that 2nd spot. We talk about cutting the corner, Steve, but it's not always the best thing to do. Cole Custer did not do it, and it worked out for him.
And now with 50 to go, Cole Custer sees the task at hand. The 20 of John Hunter Nemechek, 7 wins on the year. John Hunter looking for win 8. Cole Custer trying to run him down for a win and a championship.
And this is where, is your car good on the long run? Because 50 laps, I mean, this could be one of the longest runs. It would be the longest green flag run if it were to continue on until the checkered flag. Are these cars ready to go that long of a run?
Well, that's the challenge, because if the 00 thinks he's better, you kind of want to attack when you have an advantage. It's really difficult. Now, the advantage is he's close enough, actually gaining a little bit of time, that if he could just be patient and let his tires and his brakes kind of settle in, he might be able to make a push to the 20.
That corner right there through 1 and 2, he was definitely better than Nemechek. What you don't know, Steve, is what's the goal here for John Hunter? Is it to go as fast as you can, or is it just to keep Cole Custer? We don't know how hard John Hunter's running.
I think it's going to be who runs the top successful first. At what lap on tires is the top right? And if John Hunter guesses wrong, and the 00 still has tire to run the bottom, he'll lose the lead. If he runs the bottom and loses track of the 00, then he can get to his right rear quarter panel. Right there, I thought both ran call it the middle of 1 and 2. Now the 00 is going to climb the banky down here. The 20 is going to defend.
Yeah, the 20 defended for sure. But so now you're right. Like if I'm Cole Custer, right now I'm going to run the top again in 3 and 4. Right, I'm not going to run the bottom. I'm going to run the top. Get John Hunter thinking this is the only place I'm going to run. I'm going to try to break even with him down here. John Hunter's going to try to go to the bottom, entering the corner. He does not, so Cole Custer goes to the bottom. Right move for Custer. And in 1 and 2, I definitely run the bottom if I'm Custer, just to see what it does. How is my car down here?
He stays up in the middle of the racetrack.
It tells me that the track is swung. For Cole Custer to not try the bottom right there tells me that the upper groove just simply has more grip.
Think of this battle we're watching right here. John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer both were full-time Cup drivers at some point in their career. John Hunter Nemechek is moving back to Cup. We know Cole Custer's been vocal. That's where he wants to end up. He loves this opportunity, but he wants to be a Cup driver. You wonder how much that's playing. Custer's returning. He knows he's the Xfinity Series driver next year, but if he can beat what is a Cup driver next year, what does that do for his ego? What does that do for his career?
It sends another message to those at Stewart-Haas Racing that he can compete at that highest level. As John Hunter Nemechek up the racetrack a bit, the gap is closed. It's still 1 and 2 for Nemechek and Custer. Championship 4, fighting for a title. As we see Cole Custer out in front, he's taken over the lead. John Hunter Nemechek running second. Allgaier is fourth on the racetrack, and fifth is Sam Mayer. You see their crew chiefs on the far right. And now, under 38 laps remain. The way the pass took place for Cole Custer to take away the top spot from John Hunter Nemechek, this is what it looked like.
A little bit of a power move, really. Got to the center of the corner, was able to get his car turned better. Drives alongside John Hunter, and then down here in 3, he just drove in the corner really deep, sides up the racetrack, takes the spot. Right there is where the pass happened. Got his car pointed really well, was able to stand in the gas.
Issue for the 53. And so Chris Hacker is going to bring that car onto pit road and to the attention of his crew, maybe even behind the wall. We'll see. Not running straight down pit road.
Now it's a matter of time, right? That last lap, Allgaier in 3rd was actually the fastest car on the racetrack, but he's back over 3 seconds from the 2 leaders. So just not sure. Oh, you see the damage right there. Smoke inside the car. Heavy damage to both right side tires. Obviously big contact somewhere with the wall.
He did spin right before he came to pit road. But no caution has come out. We stay green as John Hunter Nemechek continues to try to chase down Cole Custer after Custer took the lead away. It's time now for the Toyota driver update. And prior to losing the lead, John Hunter Nemechek had led 65 laps of this race, and currently in that 2nd spot. But 2nd is not going to be good enough if he wants a championship. Cole Custer right now holding that spot.
Well, you talk Cole Custer, you know, we spent some time with him and we continue to talk about it. I was amazed at his honesty about what it did to his ego when he was asked to move down from Cup to Xfinity. So you have to look at the season. SHR is currently winless in the Cup Series. Never has that happened in the organization since Tony Stewart has been a part of it. Could this championship, in the perfect year, right? They have Kevin Harvick moving on. Eric Almirola has said he's not coming back. You know, all eyes. Tony Stewart's in attendance, right? Sometimes timing is magic. So I know he's going to be an Xfinity driver next year, but is this what moves him to the top of everybody's list for the next available seat? He has 33 laps to hold off the 20 and try to win that championship.
That's all right there what John Hunter did. He completely changed what he was doing and wanted to. Ran the bottom of the racetrack. He's searching, trying to find something that makes his car drive better. Been running the 2nd and 3rd lane. Cole Custer driving away from him. I gotta find something different. I gotta try something.
Now under 32 laps to go in this championship race, and let's get a few more updates. We'll start with the 00, Cole Custer and Marty.
He also told us on Thursday, he said, listen, I finished 2nd in this championship 4 twice. And we asked him, what did you learn from that? He said, when to be patient and when to push things, when to worry and when not to worry. You saw the patience when he was behind John Hunter Nemechek. He has said nothing since he's taken the lead. 31 laps stand between Cole Custer and an Xfinity Series championship, Dave.
Veteran spotter Tony Hirschman was telling John Hunter Nemechek he was over-rolling the center of the corner and missing his exit points. That's when Custer passed him. After that, Hirschman came back and said, remember, the 00 came back to us the longer we ran. Recently, that's been happening. John Hunter is closing, Marty.
One of the signature wins for Justin Allgaier this year was Bristol. Jim Pullman told me immediately after that race, he said, I knew I wanted that car for the Championship 4 race at Phoenix. That's what they have here today. They have also been telling Justin the last several laps, you're the fastest car on the track. Where you're in the game, you're just 2 seconds behind, Kim.
Sam Mayer in the 4th position. The second half of this race, he just hasn't had the restarts and the fire-off speed he has needed. He knew that going into the race. He said our weakness is going to be fire-off speed. His spotter, Kevin Hamlin, reminding him, though, remember how fast you were before that last caution. It will come to us. We have a long-run car. Kevin also telling him the 00 and the 20 are running pretty hard against each other. They are burning their stuff up. Keep our stuff safe, and we will still be in this thing. Sam Mayer, again, running in the 4th position.
Lap traffic's going to come into play on the lead here as Cole Custer. Now that lead has shrunk, and lap traffic right in front of Custer. So he has to deal with negotiating through it as the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek has closed in, and he's fighting for the top spot.
You can see Cole Custer letting the guys know he wanted the top. He was running the top off the corner, saying, hey, I want the outside. John Hunter wants the inside. We talked a few laps ago about how John Hunter changed his line, running shorter around the racetrack on the bottom, and it has helped him. He is graining on the 00 right now, using this line right here. And this could be a big move for him.
And Allgaier's still fastest. He's closed it to 1.8 seconds and continues to close the gap on these two.
And in big chunks, 2/3 of a second a lap. So there's a battle here. You see it off the hood of the 20 of Nemechek. Out of his rear bumper, the 7 is definitely in sight. There he is right here. You'll see him at the top of your screen. That red car, purple lower nose. A couple lap cars in between, but Nemechek continues to hound the 00.
Yeah, I feel like the 00's got loose. He looks like, I saw his car wiggling around a little bit, the back of it, like 10 laps ago. I just don't feel like he can attack the corner.
Nemechek's been very aggressive too. Almost hit the wall a couple times coming out of turn 4. He's using every inch of this racetrack to try to close that gap.
And this is, you don't know how hard this is. 26 to go. You know there's a championship on the line. Neither car is driving perfectly. But you have to be perfect. You have to maximize everything. If you try too hard, you actually go slower. Cars are riding around on ice. You've got to be precise. You've got to hit your marks. Drive in the right amount of distance, not too deep with the throttle, Steve. Go back to the throttle exactly right. Any small mistake could be tenths of a second.
A great move by the 6 of Brennan Poole to completely get out of the way. Now it's a straightaway gap for the 00. It's all on him now. No more lap traffic to deal with. Can he put his car in the right position for 25 laps?
How about he went to the bottom? We saw John Hunter running the bottom. He ran Cole Custer down, right? Then Cole said, all right, I'm going to run a little bit lower. And down in 3 and 4, he's just painting the yellow line, not up the racetrack at all.
And we've talked about the 00 being moved back. The opposite behind. John Hunter and Nemechek, when he sat down with us, he talked about the gamble him and TRD took. They took it together, he said, to move down out of Cup, to find a position where he can win races. This championship, he said, would validate that entire gamble as the 00 gaps the 20 off the corner.
And what's the difference between a Cup driver, a full-time Cup driver, Xfinity driver? It's this right here. Being able to move around, find out where my car is the best. You can't drive a race car the same every lap. You got to drive it the way it needs to be driven on this lap, and it's going to change in a few, and you have to change with it.
Cole Custer now out of traffic, out front and pulling away. Seventh caution of the night for Connor Mozak. He got up into the wall. That's going to bunch the field back up. So let's take a look at what happened to the 24-year-old from Charlotte.
Getting into turn 3. Oh, man. Car just turns right. I don't know if he had a mechanical issue, a tire going down, something made the car go right, or Connor turned it right knowing that he had maybe a throttle issue. It's hard to tell. Rode the wall. Did a nice job staying up against the wall. Little things, right? Didn't come back across traffic. Didn't have his issue create another.
That really was, Steve. It was very odd. The behavior of that car.
Now we have playoff drivers 1, 2, 3, 4.
Coming to their crews.
Yeah, everyone's going to need to put on fresh tires for sure. Coach Gibbs in attendance. Checking out John Hunter Nemechek in the 20. They were successful with Ty Gibbs a year ago to win the Xfinity Series Championship, trying to match that feat.
We talk a lot about the pit crews, but the driver has a job to do too. We saw the last time coming down pit road, Sam Mayer was a car length behind the car in front of him. You can't do that. You have got to be closed up. You have got to maximize pit road speed. You got to get in your pit box perfectly. Steve, if you slide 2 feet too far, it messes the rhythm up of your pit crew. The pit stop, we put a lot on the pit crew. Hey, they didn't have a good stop, but the driver can help the pit crew do their job.
You know, and a lot of decisions are made as you approach a year that you're not sure if they'll pay off or not. And the decisions on pit road are very interesting, right? When you look at this, the 7 crew for Junior Motorsports, the majority of these pit crew members pit the 48 Cup car on Sunday. The other Junior Motorsports crew, they pit the 7 Cup car on Sunday. The 00 of Stuart Haas, same thing. A lot of guys on either the 14 or the 41, but not Joe Gibbs Racing. They're changers, the Carrier, and the Jackman. Those 4, they're Xfinity only. This was a decision by Chris Berkey, who's the AD, the athletic director at Joe Gibbs Racing. He wanted to have folks that focus purely on Xfinity. They have 5 lug nuts, not 1. The orchestration is very different. Will that gamble, will that approach pay off as John Hunter comes in second, Custer in first?
It's a team sport, and now it's all on the team. Kim.
And for Sam Mayer, he said, I was pretty darn balanced during that run, just a little free on exit, but he said he cannot be any tighter because he won't be able to roll. The center crew chief, Marty Lindley, trying to pump up his team, and his driver saying, nice and smooth on this stop. Let's go. Let's gain some spots, Dave.
Nemechek was asked what he needed for this short run. He said just about the same thing he gave me for the last short run. So this veteran-focused only pit crew will go to work on the 20 here, Marty.
Cole Custer said, I am good on balance. I don't want any changes to the car. Justin Allgaier was terrific at the end of that run. He said it's just a little bit too free. Allgaier came in third. Can they use that #1 pit stall to gain a couple of positions as one car flashes by? Here comes the field. Allgaier will maybe gain a spot or 2 here on pit road, Rick.
Yeah, spun the tires trying to get out of his stall, but it looked like it was a good stop for the 00 of Cole Custer. Take a look at the race off pit road. The 00, then the 7. You got to throw Austin Hill in there too. Tomorrow, Sunday Night Football. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are going to face Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Coverage beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern with Football Night in America on NBC and Peacock. Buffalo 1-2 on the road. Cincinnati won 3 straight. see how that battle goes. We've got a huge battle in front of us here at this 1 mile oval in the desert. Phoenix Raceway is where we will determine an Xfinity Series champion. And an interesting twist, it looks like Daniel Hemrick may have changed just 2 tires to win the race off of pit road, and that will put him right in the mix of this championship.
Yeah, exactly right. So now the question I guess I have is, you know, where do you choose? If you're the 00, it's easy. You just choose whichever side of the front row the 10 doesn't take. But if you're the 7, do you have to follow new tires in the 00? I felt like you have to, right? And if you're the 20, do you stay 3rd in line, or is there enough room getting into turn 1, Jeff, where you think you can kind of get around a car on 2 tires?
I think a lot of it depends on where the 10 picks, right? If you got to decide where the 10's going to pick. But if you're Nemechek running 3rd, they're going to drop the green flag with like 12 to go. You've got to go somewhere. You got to do the opposite. You see smoke coming out of the 7 car.
Yeah, the 7 on the right side looks like it's coming out of the pipes. Nope, not the pipes. But it is on that right side.
Yeah, no, I think it is coming out of the pipes a little bit. Like when he pumps the throttle, maybe. I don't know, it's hard to tell, Rick.
Yeah.
It has that color of engine smoke, but doesn't seem to be bothering him. There's your choose.
There's a choose. So what is the goal for everybody? Clearly the goal for the 00 car, take advantage of your 4 tires. Get by this 10. Allgaier, a little bit of smoke coming out of it. Still, I believe his goal is to leave with Custer, try to get by the 10 car. Nemechek, he's either got to put it 3 wide in the middle between the 00 and the 10 somehow, or get on the outside of the 10. It's a very difficult position for John Hunter.
Let's listen into Cole Custer's radio.
All right, the championship pit crew just showed them how it was done. Now we got it in this driver's hands right here. Wasn't wanting anybody else's hands. Let's go up here and get this thing, bud. 10-4.
Yeah, crew chief Jonathan Toney, I'm going to tell you something. This is his first year of being a crew chief, a longtime engineer, was an engineer, hit lead engineer on Tony Stewart's one of his championships. Cole Custer believes in him 100%.
All right, the 00 starts on the front row. Cole Custer, a fight for the championship. 12 laps to go. Is the 7th engine going to go 12 more laps? Let's find out. 20 of John Hunter Nemechek. He's on the outside. Cole Custer, all sorts of pressure from the 7. Here comes the 21 of Austin Hill. Allgaier fighting back on the inside.
And now the 20 of John Hunter got through as well.
And here comes Sam Mayer in the 1. The championship 4 running 1, 2, 3, 4.
All of them did the best job they could do. There's nothing their team's going to ask better of them on that restart.
2 of the last 3 championship races here were decided with a last lap pass for the win. Is it going to happen again?
Big run here by John Hunter. Went up the racetrack in the middle of 1 and 2. Got a big run on corner exit.
I like this idea. You can't follow him into the corner. Try to get on the right rear. He's done it.
And now that fight for second as the 00 of Custer trying to pull away.
Cole Custer's pulling hard for Allgaier right here. Making hard on John Hunter.
Allgaier hugging that yellow line. He's going to lose second to John Hunter Nemechek. Custer, Nemechek, Allgaier, Mayer. Under 10 laps. It'll be 9 to go when they get to the stripe.
Cole Custer's going to have to be perfect right here. That 20 car has good takeoff speed.
Here, stay with them.
Stay with him, he said. I'm sure he's trying.
Rick, when you know you have a short run, you change the air pressure, you change the chassis. You know you only had to run around 10 laps. So they all fired off good, but now you have laps to continue. Who over-adjusted? Who went too far? Will both the 00 and the 20 hold on to their speed?
A little bit of pressure coming from behind for Sam Mayer. Austin Hill trying to make it a little more difficult for him.
John Hunter trying a little bit too hard that last lap in 1 and 2. Went way up the racetrack. It's too early on new tires to run that high on the racetrack. He actually lost time back to the bottom that time.
Custer now with about a ½ second advantage over Nemechek. Cole Custer, when we talked to him on Thursday, he thought he was the favorite. He wants to show everyone he deserves to be back in the Cup Series. He knows he's going to race in the Xfinity Series next year. But what a notch in the belt it would be for Cole Custer to grab a championship this year.
And this is what Cole Custer has always had his entire career. And no matter what he's driven in, is speed. He's a fast race car driver. And now with that experience, put it together. Put the laps together, Steve. You don't have to be way faster than Nemechek right now. It's more important to be perfect.
I like the lane he's running right here, wrapping that yellow line. Perfect corner down in 1 and 2. As you see the big slide out of Nemechek, that's it. Force him to come get you. Don't have a wiggle. Don't give up a big chunk. If he has to catch you 0.7 of a second with 5 laps to go, don't give him a big chunk.
John Hunter Nemechek, he mentioned his dad. We'll talk to him about strategy sometimes, but most recently he said enjoy the opportunity as the caution will come out. The 78 goes around Anthony Alfredo, and so now another restart. And it's the championship 4 that are the top 4.
Cole Custer did not want to see that.
No.
I mean, now it's game on again. All of the championship 4 did a great job on that last restart, navigating around the 10 car with only 2 tires. Now they're going to all restart right there together. What lane does Cole Custer pick? I think that is a very difficult decision he's going to have to make.
Top, what are you thinking? Yeah, I'm thinking the same.
All right, so here's the negative to picking the top. It gives John Hunter Nemechek or whomever picks the bottom the opportunity to enter turn 1 door to door with you and use you up, run you up the racetrack, take that spot away. That's the negative to picking the top. The negative picking to the bottom, Steve, is that they have so much momentum on the outside, they can roll by you and take that lead. So it is a very difficult decision for the leader.
What's John Hunter Nemechek doing here?
Well, Cole Custer shut his car off to cool it, right? The 20 pulls up around him, almost sped to the pace car. We've seen cars lose position by not keeping caution's pace. That's not at all what was happening to the 00. Now I'm going to give John Hunter Nemechek like tip of the hat, man. Play every angle you could play. You never know what might be decided, but
now on restarts throughout the season, it has been Nemechek who has been the best. This is why the caution came out. Again, the 78 of Anthony Alfredo. Looks like he had a little help there from the 07 of Dawson Cram. Custer's crew. Oh no.
Nobody said it was going to be easy.
Yeah, they had a pretty good lead, and then the caution comes out. So now overtime, and the way that works, they'll get the green flag. If the leader of the race gets all the way back around and gets the white flag, the next flag ends the race. So if it's the checkered flag, it's whoever gets to the start-finish line first. If it's a yellow flag, who is ever out front when that caution flag flies.
So that decision on what lane you pick, Steve, how much influence do you as a crew chief want to have on what the driver does here?
Well, I'm going to tell him what I think is best, but ultimately only he knows every little detail about his car. He's done this all year long, so I agree. If I'm the 00, I'm suggesting top. I feel that gives you the best chance. There's Jonathan Tony right there. You know, if I'm giving my input to the 00, I think top is the key. The question is, you know, what if Cole Custer agrees?
And so you see all the drivers cutting their cars off, right? It's not because they're low on fuel. It's nothing like that. It's simply they're trying to get temperature, water temperature out of the engines, because a little bit of temperature makes horsepower. And so every little gain you can get, you want. So they're cut those engines off, run them for just a minute, just a few seconds, let the water circulate into the radiator, out of the engine, shut it back off. And it's simply bringing water temp down to get increased horsepower.
Oh, there you have all kinds of tricks. Like, for instance, the alternator can be shut off where it's not connected, it's not charging. You could turn all your fans off. You have no draw on the battery. All the different things you have, even your air conditioner, anything you think would generate more horsepower, now's the time. The other thing, this sounds silly, But I'm not going to assume Jeff's thinking about his brake bias. I'm not going to assume any of that. I'm going to remind him like he's a rookie and he's never done a restart before. I need brake bias wherever you think it's the best. Clean your rear tires up. Do everything you can do. Let's see where they choose, Jeff.
All right, here it is. His decisions. Cole Custer top. Nemechek an easy decision bottom. The 7 to the top. The 1 to the bottom.
I think
much how I would have seen it happening.
And this is going to be interesting. So now for the 00, he has to get a good start because the 20 is going to turn left and shorten it up as much as possible. You can't allow him to actually clear you getting into the corner. For the 00, his concern is not letting the 7 get to his right rear quarter panel because the 7 probably has no choice but to make a nice wide entry into turn 1. And if he's to the outside, then you can be 3 wide.
And if you're the one to say a mare,
you damn right.
if you're the one to say a mare, assume that the 20 is going to get up into the 00. Assume getting into turn 1, that's what's going to happen. Commit to being below them. So if it does happen, you're in position to take advantage of it.
By the way, that was Eddie DeHaan talking to Allgaier as far as going for it. Back there in row 2. Custer, Nemechek. Getting ready for overtime. Presented by Credit One Bank. It will be 2 laps. Custer on the outside. Nemechek on the inside. Back to green. Great restart by the 00 and the 7. The 20 of John Hunter Nemechek goes so hard into turn 1. He slides up the racetrack. Here comes the 7. They're 3 wide for the lead down the backstretch. How will they come into 3? Allgaier aggressively goes into 3. Custer on the inside. Here comes Sheldon Creed. White flag one more time around. Custer's pulled out to the advantage. He needs a perfect 1 and 2. Allgaier higher, trying to keep the momentum up. Allgaier, he's getting a little pressure for second. Custer pulling away. Custer proving he deserves to be a part of NASCAR's elite. Today, Cole Custer is an Xfinity Series champion.
Hell yeah, guys! That's awesome! You guys are the best. That car was unreal. I've never had a car that good here. Oh my God. JD! Woo! I love you guys. I love you, Cole Custer. Awesome job, man. I don't know how you done that, but we'll have to watch the replay. Proud of you guys. I told you this is a championship team. Hey, Cole Custer.
That's the voice of Wayne Otten, series director of the Xfinity Series.
Well, I've been waiting to hear your voice for a long time, Wayne. A NASCAR champion. Way to go, bud. Nice job. Now, you come over here to the start-finish line. You're going to get this flag.
Giving him the details.
Let's drink the beer. What do you think, Cole? Be proud of this kid. That was a 3-wide finish for the championship. Way to go, guys. We'll see you in a few.
Co-owner Tony Stewart here and watching as Cole Custer has won the race and the championship.
In a year where not much has gone right for Stewart-Haas Racing, they went right tonight. Cole Custer with an unbelievable restart, 3 wide off of turn 1 on the white flag lap, and he is a NASCAR Xfinity Series champion. That belongs to you. What were you thinking when it was 3 wide and it looked like the restart wasn't going to go your way, Cole?
I thought it was over. I mean, went from first to third, and I was able to shift the car all night, and you know, Doug Yates' horsepower worked out to pull me off the corner, and I can't believe we won that thing after going back to third on that restart. But man, I can't say enough about these guys. I mean, we started the year off, and it was a struggle, and we had to kind of dig deep with each other and really talk about how to get better, and to see how much this group's grown through the year, and to be a part of something I knew I wanted to work with JT. I knew he was the guy that could make it happen, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. And I just can't thank Gene Haas enough. I mean, he's given me opportunities, and you know, I wouldn't be here without him, and I can't thank him enough. And Ford Performance, Haas Automation, everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing. It's awesome to bring one back to Stewart-Haas right now. So, man, I'm going to enjoy this. I've been waiting to hear Wayne on the radio for a few times now, so I'm pumped.
We talked about your move back to the Xfinity Series. What did you have to prove personally during this championship run, Cole?
Well, I mean, you definitely, you know, you get knocked down a little bit, and, you know, you just want to prove that you can go out there and do it. And, you know, I think these guys have just really, you know, always believed in me all year, and I just can't thank them enough for giving me really fast race cars and still believing in me when, you know, things were going great.
Rick, twice he was a runner-up, a bridesmaid, no more. Cole Custer is now an Xfinity Series champion.
High fives all around, and plenty more to come from here at Phoenix. The trophy presentation still in front of us. Cole Custer's parents, Joe and Cindy, here, as well as Cole's wife, Carrie, will be celebrating with Cole Custer, the 25-year-old from Ladera Ranch, California, was able to grab his 13th career win, but it was the most important because it was for the Xfinity Series championship.